As they hit the roads of our nation's capital, there seems an air of optimism about our duo, Mark Stacey and Will Axon.
I'm going to buy gold, silver, jewels, diamonds. Yeah.
Gregarious Mark has over 20 years' antiques experience tucked under his belt, and he's not afraid to expand it.
Oh, it's lovely. Oh, I'll come back here again.
While Jolly Will, not known for his prudence, has a clear strategy in mind.
Spend it, Will, spend it.
Having started the week on £200, an early setback for Mark has still left him under par. Despite modest gains in recent auctions, he has £195 10p to start this penultimate leg. Whereas Will's incredible performance at the last auction has sent him into the lead in the road trip, and he has a bonanza budget of £325.86p. In a flash of white lightning, our chaps are cutting through the London commute in a classic 1963 Triumph TR4, hoping there will be no more bumps in the road ahead. Oh dear.
Is that you on the car?
I think it might have been me.
What have you had for breakfast?
Charming. This week's road trip is whisking us through no less than 4 counties. The boys started the week in Hastings, East Sussex, and will visit Kent, Surrey and Essex before finishing at an auction finale in the leafy London suburb of Ruislip. Today, we're kicking off in Crystal Palace in London, then heading for Essex and an auction showdown in Southend-on-Sea. The area of Crystal Palace was named after a magnificent glass building of the same name. Originally built in 1851 to house the Great Exhibition in Hyde Park, it was rebuilt in South London, where it stood until its destruction by fire in 1936. The area is now recognised by the 6th tallest structure in London, the Crystal Palace Transmitter.
This looks like it will. Antiques.
Antique warehouse. I like the sound of that.
Now, are we shopping here together?
I think we are, Mark.
Are we?
Is this place big enough for the both of us?
Oh, I'm sure it is.
The boys are starting out at Crystal Palace Antique and Modern. With 4 floors of treasure, it's South London's largest antiques emporium. So, Will's starting right at the top to find out what treasures await.
Very nice. Little cheese board there. And if I tell you it's got a carved mouse on it, you're going to know exactly who's made it. And Tim's going to tell you all about it, I'm sure.
If you insist then. The carved mouse is a trademark of Robert Thompson, the Mouse Man. Famous for his oak furnishings, Thompson featured the creature on almost every piece he made. This cheese board is an early example of his work. Will has offered £100.
Bear with me.
So dealer Nick is making a phone call to the owner. And it looks like it's good news.
You're going to stick a sold sticker on it for me?
I am indeed, yes.
Well, while you get the cabinet open, because you know what I've done, I've bought it without even handling it.
You have, I was quite impressed.
Well, you know...
He may be buying blind, but deep down, our canny expert knows the worth of this cracking little piece.
I'm still pleased with that. And £100, it's worth a punt. Lovely. Stick a sold sticker on there. Leave it in the cabinet as well, just to antagonise Mark.
While the new kid on the block is buying big, our veteran seems to be struggling to find anything to acquire. Flush with success, Will's already on the scent of his next purchase.
It's quite sweet, isn't it? I mean, it's of no great consequence. It's a little country house, little pen sketch. But what I love is this frame, this bird's eye maple. You've got this lovely figuring. I don't know, it just appeals. Looks like it's been in that frame forever. It's only 23 quid. I could bear that in mind, but I'll hang it up there.
But while Will seems to be in the mood to part with his cash, Mark's run into a bit of a problem.
You see, the things that attracted my attention are already sold. I mean, this is really nice. Even small pieces like this breadboard, you know, sell for £150, £200. But it says sold.
Lordy, just wait until he finds out who bought it.
This caught my eye. Obviously Art Deco, you can tell that just by looking at it, but this clock garniture with this rather stylish-looking woman perched atop this tree stump. It's got a ticket here. It's had a price on it, and it's been reduced. So, I mean, I was almost tempted to make a cheeky offer of about £100. I don't know how Nick would feel about that. I suspect he'd have to make a phone call.
Well, why don't you ask him then? He's right behind you.
She caught my eye.
Aha, I can see why, yep.
The sort of triple clock garniture there.
Yes.
I've had a look at the price.
Okay.
Would you be able to make a phone call for me and see if they might be able to come down to near £100 for her?
£100.
Crikey, you like to spend in hundreds, don't you?
Very best. 120.
Will's taken over the negotiations to see if that really is owner Ian's very, very best.
Could we meet in the middle and say 110? And it's gone, and it's done, and you've got a space on your mantelpiece to fill with more treasure. 110? Yeah, will do. That's really kind of you, mate. Thanks very much. Cheers.
Hey, big spender, that's nearly 2/3 of your budget on your first two items.
Well, before we get to the office, Nick, this was the little bit that caught my eye. Sweet, isn't it?
It is, yes. Let me have a quick look at it. I mean, I'd be inclined to offer you, say, it could be £20 as a starting thing, just to round it off.
Yeah. Well, I think 15, you say 20, let's meet at 18.
I think we can do that.
Yeah, let's do it. Done.
Okay.
Good work. Okay, so I've got to settle up for everything now.
Yes, indeed. Right, okay.
In the office? Perfect.
So while Will pays up, it looks like Mark's mood is as grey as the weather. But maybe he'll cheer up on his next visit. His antique search may have gone to the dogs, but now he's making his way north into central London, to Piccadilly, to the oldest recognised kennel club in the world.
Hello,
Hello.
I'm Mark.
Hello, I'm Louisa.
Nice to meet you. And who's this charming little fellow?
And this is Louis, and he's going to
Louis.
show you around the kennel club today.
Oh, hello. Oh, I think you're shivering. Shall we go in?
Yeah, come on then.
Come on, Louis. Oh, is this sweet?
Oh, that's embarrassing. From prize-winning pooches to lovable scruffy mongrels, Britain's always had a love affair with its four-legged friends. And with an estimated 28,000 dogs competing each year at Crufts, it's not hard to see why a national body had to be set up to legislate in canine matters. The Kennel Club has its roots in dog shows that became popular in the mid-19th century, and while initially dogs were only recognised by their kennel names, since its formation in 1873, the club has identified 211 distinct breeds of dogs. Louisa is showing Mark the club's art gallery, which displays Victorian and Edwardian canine art, a collection that includes hundreds of oil paintings, engravings and prints.
This room has a very Victorian feel to me, with all the pictures and the paneling.
It is very Victorian, and the Victorians really loved their dogs. And Queen Victoria herself was a huge dog fan and owned a large number of dogs. Yes, she had at least 28 breeds of dog.
I never knew Queen Victoria loved her dogs so much.
She didn't just have them in kennels all the time, she had lots of pets that were her favourites.
That's quite early. Victoria came to the throne in 1837, didn't she?
That's right, and she did own dogs before she was queen, so when she was princess, she did have a large number of dogs then too.
And this book lists her various breeds, does
Yes,
it?
that's right, it does. This would have been given to people as a gift, anybody that visited Windsor. There's some quite exotic ones in here. A lot of them would have been given to her by various people, other royalty from overseas, things like that. And here we have something Bedouin dogs.
Gosh, that sounds rather exotic,
it is,
doesn't
isn't it? We also have in here a Hungarian sheepdog, which is something else that's unusual. We're not sure what breed that would be today. And as you can see, that's January 1843. So again, that's quite,
Yeah, it's
that's
from
very
Kent.
early.
And did she get involved with the Kennel Club as well when it was founded?
She did, yes. She did show her dogs at Crufts. So she was involved in the dog showing world at the time, yes. This medal here was given to Queen Victoria from the Pomeranian Club, awarded at the Kennel Club show in 1891 for her Pomeranian Windsor Marco. And he won first in his class at that show.
How wonderful. I suppose it's a bit like our current Queen, who of course loves corgis. And I suppose that's led to an increase in the interest and the ownership of corgis throughout the country.
It's estimated today that there are approximately 10.5 million dogs owned in the UK, accounting for over a third of all the nation's household pets. So dogs truly still are our best friends. But it's time for Mark to say his farewell to his newfound pal.
Bye-bye, Louis. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Arr.
Look after yourself. Oh, bless him. I want to take him home with me.
Paws off, Mark. Louis looks quite happy where he is. Who's a good doggy then? Rah. Meanwhile, Will has decided to do a spot more shopping. Well, one of them should. He's travelled 9 miles east to the suburb of Chislehurst, looking to spend some more in Ratton Antique and Craft news.
But they're quite nice, aren't they? I've got one of these at home, which we use, and they're basically breadboards. Does what it says on the tin, as it were.
A tin of bread?
I've seen these for sale. Sort of KitchenAlia dealers, special dealers. What's not great about them is the colour. You know, with anything treen, wood, colour is key. They've got something about them, and I've gone for a cheese board, haven't I? So why not go for 3 breadboards as well? And there might be a little sort of KitchenAlia lot I could get together.
Oh no, not another theme, surely. It's time to get Graham and Maureen involved.
How much leeway? Could you do all 3 for 15 quid?
Yes,
You could.
I will on this occasion. Yes.
Have I just bought 3 breadboards?
Yeah, that's generally how it works, Will.
What can we chuck in to make it around 20? What about a jelly mould?
Oh, lordy, he's quite out of control. Quick, stop him before he picks up the...
And one of those. What is it?
It looks like a butter press without its mould to me.
I'll tell you what, chuck that in as well, and we got a deal. 20 quid. I'm a hard man. Oh, it's done. Go on.
So Will's impromptu raid on Graham and Maureen's pantry has resulted in 3 breadboards, a jelly mould and a butter press, all for £20. Top marks.
And look, it's even aesthetically pleasing stacked.
Oh, it is, isn't it? Would you like a bag?
As the day draws to a close, Will can sleep easy with 4 lots in the old bag, but poor Mark remains empty-handed. Oh well, sleep tight and nighty-night. A new day has dawned for our intrepid duo, but has Mark's failure to buy made him a little paranoid?
Well, we've just turned into Dead Man's Lane.
Yeah, I hope that's not a premonition of what's to come.
Let's hope not, Mark. You've got a lot of catching up to do. So far, Mark has only visited one shop, and he failed to find anything to buy, or that Will hadn't already bought. He still has all of his £195 10p to part with. Whereas Will shopped till he dropped, spending big and picking up 4 lots for £248. Crikey. And that still leaves him with £77.86p to spend today. The boys are heading into Essex to the village of Great Baddow. And with a population of 13,000, it's known for being one of the largest villages in the country.
Great Baddow or something like that.
Yeah, that's right.
So this
Antique
sounds like some
centre.
sort of 70s rock group. The Great Baddow.
The Great Baddow and the Badettes.
And the Badettes. Well, we could be the Badettes.
We can...
Sadettes, more like. Now, this should be interesting. Our sparring partners are heading to the same shop, Baddow Antiques. Let's hope Will leaves something for Mark to buy here.
Oh. Well, I think you should go that way, Will.
Yeah, all right.
See you later.
Ciao for now.
Oh, I love those glasses. I bet that's not for sale. Yeah. Not for sale. They're fab, aren't they?
It's quite interesting, isn't it? I don't know, it just caught my eye, the shape of it. 1 or 2 nibbles on the rim, so on closer inspection, probably not for me, but someone will love it. Again, another bit of art glass. It's quite specky, the art glass, you know, it's a real up-and-coming market. I suppose it's a Vaseline glass. No price on them, of course. That might be a theme for one of my items, a sort of art glass lot.
Oh, lordy.
Hello, Ron.
Struggling to make his first purchase, dealer Ron has pointed Mark in the direction of an Edwardian cut-glass ship's decanter.
It's rather fun, isn't it? What's this one?
It's quarter decanter.
It's almost like a sort of small version of a ship's decanter, which would have sat like that, so when it was
It is.
run, it wouldn't spill over unnecessarily.
It's a ship's decanter in miniature.
It's rather sweet, then, actually.
Yeah,
I must admit, I haven't seen one dinky like that for ages. That might be a possibility, actually, Ron. Can we reserve that for me?
Yeah.
Good heavens, at an asking price of £25, maybe you could consider letting go of those purse strings, Mark.
Ron?
Boy, Ron's been run ragged today. Will's found some more glass items for his, dare I say it, theme.
That was what caught my eye. Just the texture and the design about it. You know, it's got something about it. And it's actually got a funny little signature, which I don't know what that is, do you? It looks like a little anchor and an H or...
Yeah, and I've actually have another piece of glass with the identical mark on
Have
it.
you?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, the other bit I quite liked.
Unfortunately, it's damaged.
Is it?
It has a little neck crack.
Oh, yeah. So that might be quite affordable with the crack in the
Absolutely.
handle.
Yeah, absolutely.
But again, just a good shape, isn't it?
All this 1960s art glass is making me nostalgic. Not.
Quite sure what I'm doing here, but let's go with the flow. So this is the other bit, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, a little sort of...
And remarkably, it still has its lid.
So we've what have we got? 1,
5
2, 3,
pieces.
4, 5 pieces. You've seen the programme, I'm on a budget.
35 quid the lot.
30 quid?
32 of that is the...
Go on, let's do it, so it's a deal.
And after Ron gave Will another £1 off for luck, our dapper dealer has got the lot for just £31 and it's all shopped out. So he can relax or gloat.
Mr Stacey!
Mr. Axon, you're looking rather pleased with yourself.
Well, I'll be honest with you, Mark, I've bought all my bits and bobs.
No,
Yeah.
already. I don't know if you're doing it to annoy me or not, or trying to make me worried, but I haven't bought a thing yet.
You haven't bought anything? What are you going to do, Mark?
No need to panic just yet, Mr. Stacey. How about that ship's decanter? I'm sure there's a deal to be done there, if you can remember how to haggle.
I mean, the fact that it's perfect...
Yes.
I know you don't like £25, and I know your position, so I will say money back, £18.
£18.
And I think you've got...
Well, I think we'll shake hands
Yeah,
on 18.
okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Because you read my mind. You're a very...
I'm quite good at that.
You're a very canny dealer, Ron.
See, it wasn't that hard work, was it? One lot down, and with the clock ticking, Mark's got his skates on and has made a dash across the courtyard to see what dealer Steve has to offer.
Immediately, I tell you what I like about it immediately is the shape.
Yeah.
It's very Chinese, isn't it, that baluster shape? Do you know much about this, Steve?
Not at all.
Oh, good. That's the positive side. Well, you know it's damaged, don't you?
I do.
And I don't know if that's the right lid. It's a little bit on the wobbly-jubbly side,
It doesn't
isn't
look
it?
quite right to me.
But it is the same type of pattern.
Yeah.
With that little dog of faux on the top. I mean, this is what we call Cantonese famille rose wear.
Famille rose was introduced during the reign of Kangxi, possibly around 1720. It used mainly pink or purple and remained popular throughout the 18th and 19th centuries.
How cheap could it be? And I'm thinking really cheap here, Steve.
Well, I was thinking about 12.
Oh, they do say that people in Essex have a sense of humour, don't they? I tell you what, Steve, only because I'm in a bit of a rush and I like you, I'll take it off your hands for £5. And then it gives me a little bit of a chance at auction, doesn't it?
Go on.
Put it there quickly.
Okay.
Oh, well, I don't know what I bought there, but I know old Will Axon likes his Chinese, doesn't he? And I don't mean take it away.
I think you've got a real bargain there, Mark, damaged or not. Happy with his morning's work, Wills headed to the coast at Southend-on-Sea, where formerly one of the town's biggest employers became one of the nation's most popular makers of wireless radios. During its golden age, radio captured the hearts and minds of listeners up and down the country. Radios were more than just boxes that transmitted sounds from far, far away. They came to be an important part of family life. An Echo Limited, named after its founder, Eric Kirkham Cole, produced one of the most revolutionary radio sets of its time. Although the Echo brand and factory are long gone from the area, a little part of their legacy can still be found. Will's meeting up with curator Ken Crow at the Tick Field Centre, which houses a collection of some of these bygone classics.
Oh, blimey, look at all this. It's like Raiders of the Lost Ark in here. Ah, you must be Ken.
Hello, Will. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Jolly good.
The Echo brand burst onto the scene in 1929 when they exhibited radios that no longer relied on battery power. Coles' invention, the battery eliminator or transformer as we know it today, was a big step forward from the former two-valve radio versions.
I'm assuming that the radios themselves were very expensive, am I right?
They were very expensive, especially when you get to the 1930s, when you get radios costing 12, 14 guineas, 12, 14 pounds and more.
Yeah.
Which is equivalent to something, I suppose, like 3 months' wages.
Wow, so it really was the preserve of the
very
rich
well
and
to do.
wealthy, yeah.
The product was a hit, and with the orders came the need to rapidly expand the business. Moving from a small premises in Leigh-on-Sea, the Echo factory in Southend became one of the first purpose-built radio factories in the country. Keeping one step ahead of the competition, the company soon began to concentrate on the manufacture of mains-powered radios and introduced Bakelite covers for its receivers. But then disaster struck in 1932 when the factory was devastated by a huge fire.
The fire destroyed all the following season's designs. It was potentially disastrous for the firm. It could have completely finished the firm off. And so after the fire, they in fact brought out last season's design. Didn't sell.
Oh, so they had to rely on the designs that they already had and survived.
Yeah.
But no one wanted them.
No one wanted them.
So, in order to reignite the popularity of their radios, Echo launched a competition which invited modernist designers to challenge the usual wooden box approach to domestic radio design. An entry by renowned architect Wells Coates was the outstanding winner. Now, Wells Coates' concept became the most popular wireless cabinet shape of all time. He was interested in form and function and wanted his design to follow the shape of the speaker.
As far as we understand it, this is the first round radio in the world.
This design?
AD65 is what the model was called.
You say that he wanted to make something that was, only possible to be made in plastic, because again, it's that whole modernist thing, isn't it?
It is.
Looking forward, new materials.
It is.
Why would you want to use wood? That's,
That's right.
That's in the past.
Yeah.
We're moving forward. We're using plastics and Bakelites and... Amazing.
And it was this that saved Echo.
Really?
This sold phenomenally well.
And with plastics came the ability to introduce new colours too.
And of course, what they did was to think, well, now we can make it in brown and black.
Yes.
We've got plastic, we can make it in green, we can make it in ivory.
Really?
We can make it in lots of different colours. Didn't sell. People didn't want ivory and green.
So what colour did they want?
They wanted brown and black, because it matched the furniture.
Oh, of course.
The firm later became producers of televisions and car radios, and at its height were employing 8,000 people across various sites. But after an unsuccessful merger and Cole's decision to retire in 1961, the factory closed just 5 years later, and by the early 1970s, the brand had all but disappeared. However, today Echo radios, especially those in non-standard colours, have become extremely valuable collector's items, fetching up to thousands of pounds. Well, a fascinating visit for Will has come to an end. It's time to catch up with old Stacey, who, with 2 purchases to his name, has got a bit of catching up to do. So Mark's making the short journey south, hoping to put up a fight in Battlesbridge. Today, the village is best known as a centre for antiques, though its present appearance owes much to centuries of riverside industry. But will the tide turn for Mark within the Battlesbridge Antique Centre?
quite fun, isn't it? God, look at that. A shelf. Gosh, I really like this. So what I find here is a wall bracket, probably part of a pair or more, made of pottery and then glazed to look like metal. And if you look at that, it's like a suit of armour. And I think that's really nice. And more importantly, I think it's got some age. I think we're looking at something here that was made probably around about 1900. And I tell you what else is making me rather excited. It's only marked up at £30.
But you just know he's not going to offer £30.
Yeah.
He's asked Valerie to phone the owner with a bid of £20.
Okie
Oh,
dokie.
it's like being at a job interview.
Thank you very much.
Oh, please say yes.
Bye-bye. You're in luck.
Am I?
£20.
We've got a deal. Thank you so much. Thanks for all your help. Things are on the turn.
Oh! Looks like Mark's got his mojo back. He's on a roll and has found this ornamental Japanese box with a blue glass liner.
I mean, what would it be estimated at auction? Probably £20 or £30 as a decorative object. If two people really like it, it might make 30 or more, actually. There's no price on it, so I want to try and get it. Under £10, really, because I'm going to claw my way back here. I think what I'll do, I'll go and see if the dealer's around, and I'll come back and let you know what happens.
And after a quick negotiation with the camera-shy dealer...
Well, good news. You know, I said I wanted to pay, really, sort of around £10-ish for it. I tried a sneaky £5, but the dealer was having none of it. So we compromised and settled on £8. If I knew how to say I'm very happy in Japanese, I would. But I can't, so I won't.
Well, let's try Watashi wa Yureishi desu. And not just a pretty face, you know.
No, that's quite fun, isn't it? Have you seen this before? You might have done. Because it's a sliding bookrest. Basically, this is lacquered wood. Quite cheaply done, actually. Will had one of these previously and made a lot of money on it.
£85 in the room. Anybody else want to come in? I can sell the lot.
And the fact is, it's only £12 as well. Now, I don't think this is going to make anywhere near the £85 that Will's made. But if I could get that, say, for a £5, then even if it made sort of £15 or something, it would be quite a good profit margin. Because we've got the dragon here, chasing the pearl of wisdom. Just like I am. But I'm chasing the pearl of profit.
Oh, how poetic. But with another cheeky offer of £5, it's a wonder Val's not chasing you out of the shop.
I tried.
Thank you, Valerie.
£8 was her best.
Oh, well, £8, what do I do? The only thing I do like about it, it has the original paper label underneath, which says Chun Chang Heng, which I know from my Chinese is, please do not buy me.
Actually, it says, please buy me.
I don't know why I'm even on this show, because I'm too generous to a fault here. But just for your cheeky line of saying, please buy me, I'm going to say yes to £8. And that dealer better buy you a gin and tonic.
I truly hope so too.
Phew! I think we all need a swift G&T after pulling your 5 lots out of the bag, Mark. So, with the shopping done, the boys meet up to reveal their lots.
I'm very disappointed in this one. I've had a really, really tough time buying things this time.
Oh, look, Mark, they don't look too bad
No,
to me.
I'm very disappointed, honestly. But I suddenly found a couple of things that I'm really pleased with. I love this.
I was just going to say.
I love that. It's pottery.
Is it?
And I just love the detail of this Renaissance.
I've never seen anything like it.
I've never seen anything like
It's
it.
stunning.
20 quid.
I like that. That is very different.
This is a bit of fun, Japanese box. And that was 8 quid.
Not a lot of money.
The Chinese vase, wrong top, of course. There's a bit of damage on there.
Bit of Canton.
But it's late 19th century, early 20th century.
Yeah.
£5.
That's not a lot of money.
Not a lot of money.
Go on, Mark. Show him your book slide.
I thought if you could do well on the book slide, I
saw.
So I couldn't say no at £8.
It's not a lot of money. And nicely decorated.
It's decorated.
Exactly.
I mean, you know,
A little ship's decanter.
I've never seen a quarter
Tiny
decanter
little
like
one.
that. And it was £18. Or
18?
18.
Not a
you
lot of
know.
money, is it?
But what's Will hiding under his cover?
There's something alive underneath there.
I
Will.
know,
Have you
it's
got-
moving,
Have
isn't
you
it?
got something physically alive?
I'm going to
Because
reveal it now.
I'm seeing a lot of,
Go on.
you know...
OK, it's only a matter of time before it falls on the floor.
Oh, my God. Oh! Oh, my God. I can't believe
I think
this.
the word we're looking for is wow.
Wow.
There you are.
Because I saw that. It's a pencil drawer.
I think it is. Pen, maybe a bit of ink in there. And I mean, we haven't got time
I love
to do
this.
I wondered when he'd spot that Masman board.
That's what
That is wonderful.
I got it for 100.
Oh, no, that's fine.
If I lose on that, then I'm unlucky.
No, no, I'm very unlucky. I can't believe
I've sold
you
worse
will.
ones for £100. This little lot. Look, I got 3 bread balls. Look at that one.
Oh, that's sweet. Oh, I've never seen that
I've
before.
never seen that with the milk. I think that must be a wheat sheaf.
That's really unusual.
It is, isn't it? There was a little jelly mould. I got him to chuck that in for me, but I didn't spend a lot. And the clock.
The clock garniture, Spelter, 1930s, French.
Pretty girls help sell
they
things,
always
don't
sell
they? And I
things.
know you get them with animals on and things
And
like
it's
that.
nice to have the little side pieces, the garnitures here.
I got it for 110.
Ooh, sharp intake of breath.
And then this sort of Lurtz type glass. And
Oh, yes, yes. It's all cheap and
if
cheerful.
we turned up at a fair with a table like this, I
We'd
reckon we'd
sell
have
out.
people
We'd
flocking
sell out,
round us.
and we'd be having a G&T with our profits in the bar right now.
Actually, that's not a bad idea,
Shall
Mark.
we?
Come on, mate.
But before you have that drink, it's time to find out what they really think.
Listen, he stands a chance, as just as much chance as I do. You know what? We're at the hands of the auctioneer now, you know. Could be a flip of a coin.
The Mouseman breadboard is wonderful. I mean, at £100, I think that's a steal. Absolute steal.
It's time to get back to Southend and head to today's auction. On the fourth leg of their road trip, our hardy hagglers have cut a dash across London and into Essex, starting in Crystal Palace and ending up in Southend-on-Sea for the auction.
Mark, remind me where we are today.
Well, do you know, I thought we were in Southend, but can you see the sea?
Not yet.
I can't. Where is it, Mo?
Here it is. Southend-on-Sea actually has 7 glorious miles of seafront and all the fun of the fair.
Oh, well, this looks like it, I think. Well,
Yep.
Oh, look, and I'll just pull up outside here, shall I?
At a jaunty angle.
Oh, no. Ow! Whoa! How's that?
Perfect.
Oh, don't worry about the parking bays, boys. You just leave the car anywhere you'd like. Our experts are going head-to-head at Chalkwell Auction. Established in the area for 25 years, it has grown to be an important sale room in the south of England and on the internet. Putting the boys under the hammer at today's auction is Trevor Cornforth.
My favourite item that I've seen, probably because I was aware of them when I was a kid, is the Mouseman cheese plate. I think that's brilliant. The other potential piece would have been the Chinese porcelain vase. The Chinese is a very strong market at the moment. The problem is the Chinese international buyers are only buying things that are perfect. And sadly, that isn't.
Will Axon set out on this leg with a whopping £325.86p and forked out 279 big ones on his 5 lots. Mark Stacey began this leg with £195.10p and finally got round to spending a mere £59 of it, also on 5 lots. Those chairs are a bit fancy for you two.
Oh, I say, Will. Now, this is more like it.
Oh, I feel a bit like Posh and Becks.
Oh, I wonder which one is Posh and which one is Bex.
I think it depends on the day of the week.
Could be the Adams family. Let's hope Finn doesn't come in and ruin our day.
Eyes up, Lurch. I mean, Mark. The Japanese casket with blue glass liners up first. Will it fester or fly?
Start me at £10 on it. 10 start, surely. Any interest at £10?
Oh, come on.
I've got a bit of 10 at the back. It's in the room at £10 now. Any dance on 10? We're in the room at £10. That's an interesting little item at £10. All finished. 15, 20, 15 at the front with the lady then. At £15 and selling at 15. 20 back in on the net.
20 in the
20
net.
against you. Are you out? It's an internet bid now of £20 and 25 fresh players. 25 on the left.
Oh,
25 and I need 30. Are we done at £25? 30 on the net. You 35? All done at 30 on the net then, and selling at 30.
Well done, Mark.
That, well,
Arigato, says Mr. Stacey. That's a handsome markup to start with. And it's Mark's next lot, the quarter-size ship's decanter. It's bound to float someone's boat.
There you go, for an elegant lady to pretend she doesn't drink. Start me at £20 on it, see what happens. 20 on bid straight away. It's in the room at £20. At 20 seated, here at £20. It's a sweet piece, 25 and 30 and 35, 40, 45, 50. 45 on the front then, we're selling at £45. All done at 45.
well, I'm happy with that, Will.
Should be.
You certainly should. Another steady profit there.
Well, Mark, my moment of truth is soon to arrive.
Oh, well, I don't think you've got any problems. Come on.
Oh, the tension.
It's Will's first lot. Can this selection of kitchenalia serve up a profit?
I've got £20 bid, 25 in the room. I've got 25 seated, I need 30. 30 here, 35. It's against you then at £30 on the internet. We're at 35 and 40 now, at £40 on the internet. At £40, looking for 45. At £40 at the moment, and we're selling...
Doubled your money, Will. 40, but you're happy with that, aren't you?
I'm happy with that.
Well, looks like you got a profit on a platter there. It's the Art Deco figural clock next, Will.
Start me at £30, let's give it a chance at 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 60, £50 on my right, it's in the room at £50. At £50, we're looking for 60. I've got £50 bid on the clock set, must be worth more than that surely. 60 on the left, 70, 60 with the lady seated then. It's in the room at £60 and we're selling at £60.
Gosh, well.
The clock failed to chime with the bidders.
Never mind. Never mind. I'm learning.
You might be learning, but you're not earning after that. Let's see if Mark's Chinese book slide can be a bestseller.
Pretty little item, very practical. Start me at £20 on it. Nice little piece at £20 surely. 20 I'm bids in the room at £20. Surely that's not going to be it at £20. Are you done at 20? All finished.
Well, that's fine.
Well done, Mark.
After auction costs, it's a modest profit, but a profit nevertheless.
It's the Chinese vase, which actually is there, and it looks rather nice on there, actually, doesn't it?
Someone's given it a polish.
Start me £50 on it, see what happens. £50 to start. Any interest at £50?
Come on.
Must see £50 surely.
Come on.
Start me at £20 then. I've got to start somewhere. I've got 50 came in at the last minute. I've got a £50 bid now. We're at £50. And
Come
I'm
on,
looking
you
for
know
60.
you want it.
I have a bid of £50 at the moment. I'm looking for £60.
It's lovely.
Wonderful
finished.
news for you, Mark.
Core, you're in the pink, Mark. A great price, considering the lid's wrong. Now, can Will get back on track with his next lot? It's his maple frame drawing of a country house.
Start me at £20 on it. £20 on the little drawing. It's very sweet. £20 to start. Have to see a start of £20. OK, it's with me personally at £20 on this one.
While unusual, it's not illegal for an auctioneer to bid on an item himself.
It's with me on the rostrum at £20.
Not my day today.
I've got 25 on the net.
Oh.
I've got 25 and 30 with me. It's at £30 at the moment. I'm looking for 35. Are we done at £30? All done. Thank you.
Well, that's a fair price.
You were right.
A picture-perfect buy for our auctioneer. He's made you a neat profit there, Will. How will the bidders react to Mark's biggest purchase? At a costly £20, his pottery wall bracket is next under the hammer.
Start me £20 on it. I'm starting you low. 20 I'm bids in the room at £20. At 20 and 25 and 30 and 35 and 40. £40 in the room at the moment. Any advance on £40? It's a room bid at the moment at £40. Are we done at 40? At £40? At 45 and 50. £50 seated. It's in the room at £50 and I am selling at 50.
Oh, that's all right, Will.
All right for you, Mark. That's you done, and you've not had any trouble making a profit today. Now, How will the bidding go on Will's lot of 5 glass items?
Nice little lot there. Start me at £20 on it. See where we go. 20 to start, 20 on bids in the room at £20. At £20 here. At £20, surely more than that. And 25 and 30. And £30 seated. It's at £30. It's against you now at £30. All finished.
Do you know what? I'm not surprised anymore.
Maybe you needed more luck money on that, Will. That's another loss, I'm afraid. It's Will's last lot, the Mouseman Oak cheeseboard. If that flies, he could still win today's auction.
Start me with £30 on it straight away. 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 60. 60 seated in the room at the moment. Any advance on £60? We're at 60, 70, 80. £70 on the internet at the moment. Are you on the telephone on this one? And it's 80 with me. I'm bidding now personally at £80.
Oh, gosh, he's at it again.
I like this little piece, so it's a current bid with me of £80 at the moment. Any advance on 80? 90 in the room. Ah, that sparked your interest. 90 back in the room. I've got 90 against me now in the room at £90. I'm 90 looking for 100. At £90, all finished.
Will, I'm sorry. I think that was an absolute steal for somebody.
That's the luck of the auction, though, isn't it? Or rather, lack of it. Hard cheese, old fruit.
It's worth £200 to £300, Mark. I know that, you know that. I've sold them for 300 quid all day long in North Yorkshire. That's what they're worth.
I would have bought it, Will.
C'est la vie.
I would have done exactly the same.
You know, I know, and Tim knows.
All I know is Mark's the winner of today's auction. So, Will Axon's lead didn't last long. He kicked off this leg with £325.86p, but after auction costs, made a shattering loss of £74 and starts next time with £251.86p. Mark Stacey made an incredible comeback. Starting this leg with £195.10p, he earned a fantastic £100.90p profit after auction costs, giving him exactly £296 to play with on the last leg.
Well, ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs. And the heavens are going to open well. Come on, let's go.
It's hailing, Mark.
Honestly, it's your fault, Will. Come on. Oh. Oh, let's go, Will. Oh.
It's onwards and upwards. Next time on the Antiques Road Trip, Mark Stacey finds an admirer.
I like him.
I like you too.
I like him.
While Will Axon has a bit of a wobble.
Just start to nod off. That's it, absolutely.
It works.
8 tonight on BBC Two, the patter of tiny paws to help a 4-year-old with Down syndrome and autism. 10 Puppies and Us. After that, pure drama starring Nicole